guys, it's Nick from Alter Reality Games here to bring you a video about the new Banlist that hit the OCG shores in the form of the V-Jump scans. It's been proven now. A lot of changes, and to discuss it with me is one of our local players, Zak Bishop. What's up, Zak?
How's it going?
There's so much to talk about, I had to bring in someone. I can't do it myself. So we're going to go over all the cards on the ban list, probably why they banned them in our opinions, and the future of the meta. So we're going to take it away. I'll start with Fishboard Blaster's newly banned. What do you think about that?
Well, Fishboard Blaster, it's comboed well with Water Synchro this entire last format. Well, mainly last half of this format. They pretty much banned it because of shooting Quasar Dragon that we're getting in October in our version of the Shonen Jump magazine. That really comboed well with Mind Master. Spam a whole bunch of monsters. You can get 2 5-stars in Formula. First turn shooting Quasar on your opponent, it's real hard to play out of.
Exactly. I think that, and then the Formula Monarch decks. Formula Synchron, as you're going to see, was put to 1 also, but that combo with the Monarch decks real well, allowing you to spam the formulas, going to Stardust, Shooting Star, the whole bit. So that card in general was just too good to bring back. And also the Trishula Loop decks, he was using that too, so I'm glad that card's banned, personally. The next card was Giant Trunade is banned. Thank God the card is gone. Konami, you made a mistake banning Heavy Storm. You brought that back, thankfully, and you listened to everyone. Sent Trunade away. That card was too good. It allowed you to OTK,
Very easily.
Doesn't matter what you set in the back row. Trunade with no fallback on you. At least Storm, you have to destroy something of your own. And Storm does have outs. We'll talk about more Storm, obviously, when we get there. But Trunade was just busted. Glad it's gone. You agree?
Yes, very much agreed.
Alright.
Next, we have Royal Oppression on the ban list. Well, Royal Oppression, pay 100, negate special summons. Well, Konami really wants us to play Exceed monsters. That's, by this list, clearly evident. They released them, they want them to come out. Royal Oppression would have shut them down. It's good, it's bad. I like it.
I'm glad Oppression is gone, and I'm also unhappy that Oppression is gone, because this is now going to be a special summon happy format. We don't have a lot of answers that were given to us to stop the special summons. Mystical Space Typhoon put the 3, the back row sets, there's going to be more blind MSTs. Your Solemn Warnings might not be as effective now. It's going to force people to play new cards, obviously, but I think Oppression should have stayed, in my opinion, just for the fact that special summoning is going to be rampant now with the format, especially with 60 summons. And also, Mind Master was banned for probably the same reason Fishboard was banned. It's just going to spam it. You're going to be able to use it too much with the Synchro Summoning and the 60 Summoning. It needed to go a while ago, so I'm glad it's gone now.
Mm-hmm.
The new limited cards. My favorite card of the whole game is back. Blackluster Soldier Envoy in the beginning was recently reprinted Gold Series 4. A lot of people thought it wasn't going to be back because of that, and it is. So who knows if the priority ruling is going to change soon, but it hasn't yet. I'm happy to see this card come back.
I have mixed feelings on it. It's playable in a lot of decks. A lot of decks are going to play Effect Veiler, there's your lights. A lot of decks can just spam darks like Chaos Sorcerer. I mean, I understand Chaos Sorcerer needs a light into dark too, but dark monsters, I mean, you're looking at Plague Spreaders, Zombie Master, Goblin Zombie, I mean, the list goes on, Tragodia, Gores, list goes on, and all you really need is to play main deck Effect Veilers. Seems like it's going to be in every deck that's going to be playable this format, at least from the beginning.
And they better change the priority ruling too to make the card less busted as well. If a Veiler or something doesn't go off, at least you get the chance to respond with something like a Bottomless Trap or something if that sees play again too. Debris Dragon is now limited. It was at 2, it's down to 1. You'll see also that Lone Fire Blossom went to 1. They really tried to put a damper on the Plant Tengu decks, considering they're probably not going to touch Tengu on our list because it's a TCG exclusive. They've never really done that before. The first card they ever did that was the emergency limiting, or semi-limiting, I can't remember, of Allure of Darkness at the time, but that was needed due to the format. I'm glad to see Debris go because they left Dandelion in.
Dandelion wasn't necessarily the problem. It was everything around Dandelion. It's all the 2 Lone Fires, which is now at 1, Formula, which is now at 1. You can play multiple copies and draw multiple cards per turn, and then average them all back in and do it again. They hurt that. They have put average at 1 now. So they really didn't nerf the whole plant engine, but they've slowed it down. We now have, like I said, 1 average, 1 Lone Fire, 1 Debris Dragon, 1 Formula Synchron. They're not going to be making multiple formulas per turn anymore, so they're slowing it down.
Definitely. Formula Synchron is at 1, like I had mentioned earlier in the video. That slows down the Quasar Dragon in my opinion, the first turn Quasar Dragon, and you can't abuse it as much. I mean, the card was just abusable as is, you know, with spores, glow up bulb, things like that, Fishborg. So I'm glad to see that go down to 1. I think it was necessary.
Yeah, and also another deck that ran wild this last format was Samurais. Konami apparently swung the hammer again. They've restricted a legendary 6 Samurai Shein and Shein Smoke Signal. So going into first turn Shein is not as easy as it was.
I think Samurais will still be playable. They'll just be a slower version. They'll have to adapt. They didn't touch United still. So, I mean, they just can't herp derp as much. You can't do multiple Sheins, but they put Call the Horn at the 2. So now if you get the 1 Shein out, you have more recursion methods because they didn't ban Monster Reborn like a lot of people thought they would, you know, bring it back from one format. I think Samurais will just have to adjust to the meta. They're not as good turn 1, but I think in the long run they can spread themselves out and still be a good deck. They didn't ban Gateway either, so that gives them another option to go with the Herp Derp as well if they're lucky enough to draw that. Heavy Storm was brought back like we mentioned. I'm happy to see that come back, but I'm kind of shocked they put MST to 3 at the same time. It's definitely a better alternative to Giant Trunade for the fact that you have to hit yourself, and for the fact that it allows other answers to be played like Starlight Road, because Dark Hole is still in the format, things like that, along with Torrential. There's a lot of multiple destruction cards now. Gravekeeper's main one usually, and a lot of decks might start siding them. What do you think?
Starlight Road is going to be playable again. Like you said with Dark Hole, I mean, when you get further down the list, Icarus attacks back at 3, so Black Wings, you have to worry about them again. But like you said, Dark Hole, Heavy Storm, I mean you could always Heavy Storm your own too, flip your own Starlight Road, get your own Stardust Dragon, and swing for game. So technically, Heavy Storm could be a game winner for you.
Yep, so you gotta be careful, watch out for the hand. We all hated how the opponent would draw Heavy Storm turn 1, so now that's back. But it's better than Trunade.
Still a 1-outer, they have it. Yu-Gi-Oh!
Lone Fire Blossom down to 1. I'm glad that that's down to 1 because if you're not going to ban Dandelion like I had mentioned earlier, at least you're going to take away somewhat of the engine that it was part of.
Yeah, Lone Fire you go Lone Fire, Dandelion. I mean, you have 3 targets for your 3 pots of average or 2 pots of average, depending on which version you played. If you go Tour Guide into Sang and then go Lone Fire, you have 5 targets turn 2. I mean, it had to come, and I'm glad it's down to 1.
And Dandelion is not as abusable, obviously, because they put the Debris Dragon to 1 too, thankfully.
Correct.
Speaking of pot of avarice, that is down to 1 also. They really swung the hammer on the plant decks in this list.
Well, they didn't completely crush them. They are still playable in my mind with Tour Guides and Tengus. They're still going to be very viable. It's just not going to be extremely fast as it was.
Correct. I fully agree with you there. Primal Seed is down to 1. Primal Seed, when you bring back BLS, is because of Leviair, the Sea Dragon, the 3-star Exceed. I think that's why they did it. You can abuse it with Primal Seed, the removing cards. I mean, it's not. What's your opinion on that?
It has combos. I mean, you could just remove them. I mean, with Gemini decks, you can remove them from play, add Primal Seed, add them back to your hand. You have free monsters again, so you pretty much got a free Black Luster Soldier. I mean, it has combos.
It has combos, but why do you think they never limited it prior when BLS was in the format? Same Primal Seed was always around that.
Well, we didn't have Synchros then. I mean,
correct. So I guess, yeah, you would be able to abuse that with the Synchros and the X6s and all that stuff. So, yeah. Alright. Shein Smoke Signal to 1, we discussed that. And then TG Hyper Librarian to 1. This card was really abusable in a lot of ways, especially Fableds. Nothing got touched on Fabled, so who knows if that had stayed open. It's just a good card all around. I mean, not more than 1 or 2 were played anyway, so maybe the future of the game there's a reason for that. I mean, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, TG Hyper Librarian, it also comboed well with the plant decks. It also comboed very well at Worlds with the junk Doppel decks that everybody was playing there too. A lot of them top there. I don't remember the exact number that top, but there was a lot of them. I'm pretty sure, I think it was like 6 of 8 were junk Doppel using TG Hyper Librarian.
Right. Call on Hana is one of the new semi-limited cards that came from 2 to 1, or 1 to 2, sorry. I don't see why they put it back to 2. I mean, it wasn't broken at 1, and when it was at 3, it wasn't broken. I mean, yeah, Samurais now, they could do first turn Shein and then recur him more. I mean, but MST's at 3 as you'll see, so, I mean, what do you think about it?
It's an interesting card. It's never been at 2 before. Even when it came out, it was at 1. It's been at 1 forever, as long as I've played this game. It's gonna be interesting to see how many people played it too.
Destiny Draw is now at 2. It was at 1. I'm kind of happy to see this come back. I think Konami, what their intention is, we're going to start the format with the basics. You know, you could go back to Sabers or Gladiators. And right off the bat, people are probably thinking Chaos again because Blackluster Soldier's back. So why not bring back the D-Draw engine? At least it's not 3. That would be a problem. But 2, I think, is kind of interesting. They brought that back, and Malicious is still left at 2. So what do you think about it?
With Stratos in the format, I mean, you open up Stratos Destiny Draw, that's your Stratos D-Draw target. It's going to be interesting. It's another one of those cards. I mean, it depends on how many people have used like cards like Diamond Dude, Stratos, Dasher, and other Destiny Hero monsters.
Duloran, Tiger King of the Ice Bearers at 2. Glad that went to 2 because it allowed for the Trishula Loop decks with Fishboard. Fishboard's banned too, but that was banned for also other reasons as well. You can't use Symbols of Heritage with him, the abuse, the loop engine anymore, along with him and format put to 1. So they've completely just nuked that engine in general.
Yeah, I mean, nobody in America really played the Trishula Loop. I mean, we all knew it was there. It was never consistent. At least nobody ever really found a great, consistent build of it. This is probably just to nerf that.
Mind Crush to 2, which is really interesting. Trap Dust Shoot still at 1. Its counterpart pretty much that goes along with it. The D-Draw engine, I mean, you're going to know what they have in the hand right off the bat if they do the Stratos opening play, so I mean, that might be a good counterpart to it. Other than that, Samurais with the limiting of their ability to search things through their hand, I mean, you're bringing it back to, but you're also limiting at the same time the options that it would hit.
Right, Mind Crush, there's a lot of searchable cards in the format, i.e. Tour Guide is Sangan searches, you Mind Crush their Sangan target. Whole bunch of things like Rhoda targets, Sangan targets, like I said, Smoke Signal targets, Stratos targets. I mean, a lot of things Mind Crush can hit.
Swords of Revealing Light is at 2 now. It was at 1. I don't really see a reason for it to be at 1 or 2. I mean, in my opinion, it should be unlimited. It's not that game breaking. Yeah, it stalls you for a little bit, but now you got MST at 3 again. I mean, I don't really see a point for it to go to 2 like when Banlist went to 2.
I agree. It also should be a 3. Konami says it's at 2. We have to play with it at 2. But like he said, heavy 3 MST. I mean, no one really plays the card anyway.
Necrogarda is at 2 also. And as you'll see, other cards like Judgment Dragon are limited. And Tragonia is at 2 as we'll discuss. They're just asking for Lightsworn to come back.
Yeah, they really are. They killed it last list when they put Charge to 1, Lubid to 1. They really, really hurt the deck. But now Necrogarder's back at 2. Tragodia's at 2. I mean, Twilight is there. They can use the Black Luster Soldier. They still will use Place Spreader. They're still going to be able to synchro and exceed monsters. I mean, Lightsworn could be a viable option at the beginning of this format.
Summoner Monk is now at 2. It was at 1. I believe they did this to allow players to Zixi summon a lot more. They're introducing this new archetype, card type to the game. They want people to use it right off the bat.
Yeah, like you said, they want people to Xyz summon. It's going to be its first turn, Steel Swarm Roach or Utopia or other 4-star Xyz monsters that are coming out. This is going to give you access to it turn 1 instantly. But discarding a spell, looking at all my spell lists and my last decks, all of them were crucial. It's going to be interesting to see what people discard.
Tragonia to 2 from 1. Again, abused in Twilight and Lightsworn decks. Frog Monarch decks use it as well. Kind of interesting to see if they brought this back to 2, actually.
It's actually an interesting card. With people like Z summoning, they have ranks. You can't use Tragodia's second effect to take like a level, take their Steel Swarm Roach or their Utopia, or their Leviathan Air Dragon. That would be good. But it's gonna be interesting to see that card too.
Yeah, players, don't forget that Zixi and Exceed, whatever you want to call them, they're ranks, not levels. So cards like that will not work on that. Unlimited cards, Gravity Bind goes from 1 to 3.
Not really surprising there. Again, Xyz summonings have rank, not levels. Gravity Bind specifically says level 4. Xyz summonings can push right through that Gravity Bind.
Alright. Icarus Attack goes from 2 to 3. Black Wings definitely gives them a little boost that they needed. Last format, they weren't playable pretty much at all. They never saw meta play. So this coming format gives them a little boost they need.
Yeah, Extra very good card. Helps Black Wings immensely now that they have more support now.
Judgment Dragon goes from 2 to 3. Like I said, they're trying to push, it seems in my opinion, Light Sword and Twilight decks back into the meta.
That's not necessarily that they're pushing it, they're making them playable again.
And Judgment Dragon, just like Icarus Attack 1 to 3, those are 2 targets also for Starlight Road, like we mentioned.
Yeah, I mean, not to mention you can also just Veiler the Judgment Dragon, they pay the 1,000 life points, but then again, Judgment Dragon, 3,000 on the front end.
Right. Megamorph goes from 2 to 3. I'm okay with that.
Yeah, I mean, there's not much to speak of. There's no Cyberstein 3 Megamorph. I mean, it's alright.
MST goes from 2 to 3, one of the big changes. Back in the day when we had 3 MST, everyone played 3 MST. No one played True Nade, they played Storm. True Nade was available at the time. I think it's the game was back row heavy. Now it's going to be less back rows back there. There's a lot more blind MSTing. Cards, like I mentioned, like Solemn Warning, may not become as effective this format due to the extra magic and trap destruction in the back row. I'm kind of happy to see it come back to 3.
I mean, we had it at 3 for a while. We always had 3 MST and heavy. A lot of people played 3 MST and heavy because there was a lot of back row hate. Now there's a lot more back rows to be said. I mean, now you got to worry about D prisons. There's 2 Call of Haunted. There's Solemn Warnings. There's going to be Starlight Roads. I mean, 7 Tools of Bandit is still going to be playable because of Starlight Road.
Mm-hmm. Overload Fusion goes from 2 to 3. They did not ban Future Fusion, which I was kind of surprised that they didn't ban that actually, because that card sets up so many possible OTKs. People always try and work with that card.
Yeah, 3 MSTs. You MST the Future Fusion business. So
Machina decks probably will definitely love that. Alex Van Sant. With your gadgets. Spirit Reaper also goes from 2 to 3. That card, it was an answer to Samurai's somewhat. Now it's at 3. All the offensive decks out there that push, I mean, it provides walls again, I guess. My personal favorite, there's a new card in Generation Force called Infected Male. A lot of people might try the mechanic of attacking directly with Don's Luke's and stuff like that. This kind of helps them out too, but what do you think the overall purpose of bringing that back though is?
There's a lot of cards in Generation Force that help the zombies, mainly Pain Painter. I mean, Pain Painter acts like a Plague Spreader. You can use it with Zombie Master, discard Reaper, get back Reaper, and abuse. Reaper goes into Leviathan. There's combos with Spirit Reaper again. Not to mention Spirit Reaper is not easy to get over anymore.
And Blue-Blooded Oni too. That's another good card out of Generation Force that helps spam the zombies. So maybe Reaper to 3, is that all zombies needed? Who knows? We'll just have to see how the format plays out. A couple things that weren't on the list, I'm surprised they weren't touched at all. Maybe they will on our TCG list. That's the other thing. Don't forget, our TCG list will have a few changes that probably won't be on the OCG list, like Trishula going to 1. Trishula is at 1 overseas, and it wasn't here, so I imagine we'll get that change. That's not mentioned on the list, obviously, but I expect that change to come our way. And if they do touch some TCG exclusives, hopefully they will. They need to do something about Tengu, and they do something about Tour Guide.
Yeah, like you said, Trishula is going to 1. It's 1 in the OCG. They don't have to update it. It's going to be 1 on our list when it comes official September the 1st, or probably the week before. Tengu is not necessarily a problem, but it could pose problems in the future. But now that average is at 1, I think that problem might be averted.
That definitely does damper Tengu abuse, but they also need to get their they need to get their heads straight about what they're doing with the Xyz's rulings with Tengus and Sangans only using the Xyz's material monsters. I hope they rule it the right way, and then when they're detached, they do not get another one.
Well, I mean, that's how they ruled it. I mean, I think Konami's going to do it right. They're going to sit down. They need to sit down and like really rework it and re-release like official rulings on them, all of them. The card I'm most surprised that didn't get banned is Monster Reborn. Especially when you bring back Lackluster Soldier. If you can get rid of their soldier and Monster Reborn it and then drop yours, you have 2 of them on board. That's a very formidable thing. Not to mention special summoning with no drawback.
Exactly, and you gotta remember Lackluster Soldier's second effect. That's a possible. I believe he has to destroy a monster.
Yes, yes.
So that's a possible when he destroys one. If they each destroy one, that's another 6,000 coming at you possibly if it's done right.
So like you have 2 Dandelion tokens, attack token, attack directly for 3,000. The other one gets in it for 3,000. That's 6,000. You pay a Solemn Warning, game is over.
Mm-hmm. So you gotta be careful about those plays too. I'm kind of surprised they left Dark Hole again actually, because last time it was banned, they unbanned it for one format, then they banned it again. They've actually left it in. It's going to be for a full cycle now, 1 year.
Yeah, I mean Dark Hole's very balanced right now. It equalizes the field. With Starlight, like we mentioned earlier, Starlight Road's going to become very playable with all the other cards. It's still going to have to be played, but it's going to have to be more cautiously played.
And one card that I personally wanted to be brought back, a lot of people disagree with me on it now, but Tribe Infecting Virus, I wanted that to come back. Yeah, it can be abused with the Fabled decks, but as you see from the list, Fableds might not see as much abuse, especially with Librarian going to one, because they would spam more than one, be able to use their draw engine through that. But I think that would have actually balanced a lot of things out. But now with other changes like Samurais, the Warriors, you get what I mean. I still think they should bring Tribe back though.
Yeah, and the last card I think that probably should have gotten banned was Sangan. I know it's a Turbo Pack 6, ultra rare and everything. They did the same thing the Rescue kept before he got banned. But they did everything else to hurt the deck. They put Lone Fire to 1, Formula to 1, Debris to 1, Avarice to 1. Sangan is fine now, in my opinion, with this list.
As long as they change the ruling though, that's what I hope you, R&D, we're looking at you out there. Please change that ruling. So, any last comments there, Zach?
I got nothing left.
Alright, we hope you guys enjoyed the video, and we'll see how the format plays out, especially Generation Force being released, so who knows what direction it's going to go. This is Nick and Zach signing off for Alter Alley Games. Play hard to go home, guys.